our sales philosophy and basically how I kind of go about doing this. So I guess my kind of like USP in the industry is that there's a lot of people who train sales reps, but we actually train business owners. So the difference here is that you guys love your business, like you're a coach, or maybe like, let's say you're a coach or a service provider because you love what you do. So Haley, for instance, like it might be functional fitness, and you got into it for what you enjoy. Therefore, your brand equity is like the highest priority, right? Because you don't want to come across like schemey and salesy and shit. So that brand like authority and keeping that trustworthy is super important. So our first like sales philosophy is becoming the trusted advisor. So if you look at like a doctor, I know obviously doctors these days aren't highly respected all the time if you go on Instagram, but if you think about a doctor, a traditional doctor, the doctor has the white lab coat, they have a lot of authority, they are the trusted advisor, well at least they should be. So when you come into the doctor's office and you have a massive issue with your ear, they will come in and they will diagnose the issue, they will prescribe a solution, and then as a result they will give you a prescription. And because you listen to the doctor, or maybe you do, or maybe you do or you don't, you will then take that doctor's advice as the trusted advisor. So if our idea is to show up as a trusted advisor, what does that mean? That means we're actually there to serve the client. And this is where we're using lots of you language. Hey, we're trying to understand what your problem is, trying to see can we help you, if there's any assets we can give you, and so on and so forth. But it's just more of like a mindset reframe, again, kind of solving a salesy issue, which is like, hey, I'm coming into your world to help you to see can I serve you. And what I always actually kind of reference is a lot of times if you truly act with like integrity and you really want to help people, you can become the trusted advisor for anyone. Like a lot of my friends who will come into my world and they might have issues with their sales process, I'm always just like, hey man, like don't do it that way, do it this way. Let me help you, let me have a look at things. Like even at the weekend, there was this one, we run events, and there was this one particular guy who was making around 3 million a year, and he came up to me and he was like, hey man, like I really want to see, can I work with you? He was like, I have this sales process right now, and so on and so forth, and I want to see, can we like get started? And he was very eager, and I was like, hey man, I really need to see, can I actually truly help you? Let me come in and try break down your business, let me try break down your sales process. And I asked him a couple of questions, and I said, how many leads do you have in your CRM, roughly? And he said he has 8 million leads. And at that point, I said, man, there is no way I can pitch you an offer right now because I have no idea what's going on. You have 8 million leads, and you're only making 2 million a year. There must be something seriously wrong with your business. And he was like, man, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. I was like, let's get on a call. Let's do a 90-minute call. I need to see what the fuck is going on. If it makes sense, I'll give you an offer. If it doesn't make sense, I don't know who can help you. And I think when you act kind of in that way, the respect of the prospect for you will go way up because this person's like, oh fuck, like he actually might have my interest at heart, which is the second philosophy, which is to serve, not sell. So the amount of people that we have hit 2024, 2025, that close 6 months later or 9 months later is literally insane. One of the reasons why is because we don't quit our business. We basically have the same offer for the past couple of years. But the second thing is when you're in the ether and in the ecosystem and you're there to actually serve people with your content, with your DM process, with your lead magnets, they're like, holy shit, this guy or woman, they're actually serious. Like they're going to come back. So when they're coming back into your world, again, back to follow up here, when they come back, when they come out of the sofa, being stuck at the back of the sofa, that's when they're going to bite. And if we are, like, again, operating with integrity, we're looking to serve people and truly help people, what happens with this like kind of change in energy and change in dynamics is that you are the go-to person. And this is where it's really interesting is like when I was younger, when I was like really, really young and I was doing this like early 20s, you know, I would take everything so personally. Like, why does this person not want to buy from me? Oh my God, I'm so lonely, my hair is so shit, all this kind of stuff. But then I realized that it wasn't a me problem. It was actually a prospect problem. But it also wasn't their problem. It was actually the universe's problem. What I mean by this is there's so many reasons why your prospects can't get started. Not that they don't want to, but that they can't. One, it could be like business dynamics, like financial qualification. Two, it could be just like their dog, like a vomited on the floor or something. Three, it could be like life factors. But all of those factors don't mean that you're a bad person. And I think this is what's really interesting about coaching. Coaching is very emotive. It's very emotional. So people take things very personally. But if you can hold your leads just in like the ether and ideally like manage them properly, effectively, then as a result, when the time hits for them to come to you, you're that person. Okay? And this is where like, processes come into place, using like effective trackers come into place because, Dunbar's rule, you can only remember like 150 people's names. So we don't want to keep our leads on the back of a napkin or like under the toilet seat or something like that. We want to do it like keep it somewhere like that's safe. Then the last thing, I won't go into all of them, but the last thing then is also about pulling, not pushing. This is really interesting. So if anyone's into like energy and shit, the harder you push something, the more it repels. So the big one, and I actually was speaking about this at an event at the weekend, which is, when someone's talking a lot, like I am right now, and they're telling you how awesome they are at something, it usually means that they're really shit at something. Because they're trying to over-index on a lack of competency by speaking too much. So the whole logic here is, we don't want to push people, we want to pull people into our world. So what does this mean logically? Logically, this means go be amazing coaches, get great results, create great marketing material. And when you pull people into your world, that's when you're ready to they're ready to move, okay? Other things like this as well is about how much do we speak, especially on calls. Are we pushing an agenda on a sales call or a DM, or are we pulling people into our world? Asking very exploratory questions.